Airsoft product review for you guys today. Today, as you can see, a little bit geared up because we're going to be taking a look at a piece of gear or equipment, whatever you prefer to call it, that you would be using in the airsoft field. Now, as we all know, airsoft game communication is essential. You need to communicate with your teammates and work together in order to complete an objective, take on an enemy squad, whatever you happen to be doing in the game. Obviously, communication, you can do it in a couple of ways. First off, just by yelling over at your opponent. Of course, if there are some noises, maybe like the animal noises in the background here, you might not be able to hear you. So there is obviously ways you can do that via radios. And radios are very helpful. Most airsofters tend to carry them. The only issue with those, when you have it just a blank little radio in your hand, is you have to let your weapon hang down in your sling, open the pouch, pull out the radio, push the button to talk, and communicate holding that up to your lips and having to pull up again if you didn't hear it or have to repeat something. And that's crucial. Those couple seconds you use to do that, you might get hit. So that's why we got the review of this product today. Alright, now the product we're going to be taking a look at today would be actually the headset currently attached to my head, hat, whatever you'd like to call it up there. This is the Element Bowman Style Tactical Headset. It also has a special adapter clip for the Motorola Talkabout radio, which we'll get to showing you a little bit later. And if you're interested in purchasing this headset, it's available on airsoftpark.com for about $40. So a pretty good value for a solid headset, and as we'll cover a little bit later in the video, an essential piece, a great aid in the field. Now, starting off here, covering a little bit about the headset itself. Obviously, it's made of plastic. It's not metal. Who would want a big, lunky metal headset clunking around in their head? It's not necessarily an extremely great quality plastic. You know, it is cheaper, not something that, say, you bang your head in a tree in the field, it's going to shatter to pieces, but I wouldn't go and just keep smashing this against a brick wall or something, because it probably would break and begin to crack. It's a nice bendable plastic, but it is a little bit cheapy. Now, as far as the actual headset looks from the side, you can see here that it wraps around the head with a couple straps. The straps appear to be made of a very cheaper material. They're attached by Velcro, but not very adjustable. In my opinion, may have maybe a smaller head, an average-sized head up here, and these were kind of hard to adjust in order to get them right onto my head. So that's why I have the hat. Without that, they look absolutely ridiculous because they're still kind of big and the headset's a little bit droopy. Otherwise, though, the straps aren't too bad, just really kind of hard to adjust and a little bit cheap in all honesty. As far as the side of the headset goes, there you have a nice view of the plastic as well as a Z Tactical sticker on there. Airsoft Park lists this as being made by Element, but it came in a Z Tactical little baggie, as well as that's on the headset. So for all I know, that could be the actual maker here. Park just has it labeled as Element. Now, what's actually on my ear here, there's a small black plastic, sort of puffy, mushy piece there, and what that is, that's to give you comfort when it's on your ear, and also to give a little bit of spacing between the actual area where the sound would be coming out of and your face. Now, it's not exactly that bad. It's, like I said, a mushy little piece of plastic. It is fairly comfortable. I'm not complaining at all standing here. However, one thing to note, if it's colder out, like it is today, 30 degrees, that plastic, as it is, that's really what it is constructed of, just a mushy plastic. It tends to get cold in the side of your face, so that may be something you want to take into account if you're a serious winter airsofter. Moving a little bit farther forward here, we have your microphone piece. This is easily bendable. You can go ahead and bend it around different ways you want. You're just off the field, don't want to take this off, you can bend it out of the way so that way you can see a little bit better. It picks up sound rather well. Testing this out with the Motorola Talkabout, was able to pick up sound when it was out here in front of my face. So that's a big advantage as far as communication goes. As far as actually hearing it of the headset, no problems there either. All the sound came in crystal clear through this. So no itchiness, no scratchiness from the audio. And you might be noticing a cable coming down from the headset, which you're going to go ahead and look at right now. Alright, now the cable itself attaching to the headset isn't quite that long, and it runs down onto this sort of clip right here. As you can see, this would fasten on to, say, your BDU or piece of gear or whatever, and this is what keeps the cable from flinging all around. It's just a metal alligator clip with a rubber insert, so it doesn't exactly clip anything too hard that it claps onto. This is metal. It appears to be pretty good quality, painted a nice little OD green. I don't think that's going to snap on you, but occasionally these cheaper things do have a tendency to just kind of snap and go flying everywhere. But otherwise, appears to be a nice little alligator clamp to clamp on there. Now, this metal piece here, obviously there's a little bit of electronics in here. If you were to push this in, kind of check your reading if your microphone's working. You may have heard the radio beep a little bit there in the headset itself. And really, that's just this main little chunk here. Mainly the main purpose of this, obviously, repeating main a little bit there, is just to clip onto a piece. You get a nice little alligator clip. And following the connector down farther. Now, that longer stretch of cable there, it is very long. Let me tell you that right now. It really kind of gets tangled around your legs unless you have that thing tucked deep in a pouch. Definitely a con to me. That wire is really, really long for some reason. That obviously brings down to your connector and obviously the radio itself. Now, something you want to make sure, and this is extremely key when you go to purchase your headset, is that you buy it with the right adapter. In my case, I have a Motorola Talkabout radio here, so therefore I was sure to get the Motorola Talkabout adapter. They have these in two-way prongs. The Motorola two-way radio, whichever radio you have, they do have, chances are they do have the correct adapter for it. So make sure that you do get the right one. This part of the headset is perfectly fine quality. All it does is simply plug into your radio so that you can hear and speak into it. You still have to push to talk when you want to speak, however. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap up this quick review here of the Element Bowman Style Tactical Headset. Now me, I'm more a recreational airsofter. I do take it seriously, but I'm not a big milsim guy who goes out and tries to show off with all his fancy gear. I mainly do this for fun. But even I think this is a very practical thing to acquire if you really want to take your game a little bit more seriously and also not have the annoyance of having to pull out your radio every couple seconds. Of course, you still do have to push in the push to talk button. It doesn't totally negate having to play with your radio a little bit in the field, but it certainly does help, seeing as how you don't have to raise it to your lips, let your gun hang down, etc. Overall, the headset's not too bad. The straps up here, they're kind of cheapy. Like I said, a little annoying to adjust. The Velcro only goes so far, and therefore, if you have a smaller head, not exactly going to fit that well. Certainly do need a hat. Personally, I think it looks cooler with the hat. As far as comfort goes, it's not exactly that bad. Like I said, the mushy plastic rubbery piece does tend to get a little cold in the winter, so that might be annoying. Otherwise, though, comfort really not an issue. The sound quality is good on it. You can hear rather well. Also, the microphone quality is good as well. If you had someone else, as I've tested, they do hear rather well. The sound quality is good. Just make sure, obviously, it's a little bit closer to your lip. The one thing I do want to complain about is I don't know if this is exactly necessary, but as you can see, the wires are extremely long. So make sure you have these tucked into pouches on your gear or something, because you don't want to be running and all of a sudden get hooked in a tree branch and swing backward or have your radio fly off or something like that. Also, something to make note of, if you go to purchase this, make sure you get the proper adapter for your radio. In my case, that single prong for the Motorola Talkabout. Overall, it's a practical piece of equipment. This one's pretty good quality, a little bit cheapy in certain spots, but otherwise I think it's a nice thing for you to pick up for your airsoft game. Just a couple annoying bits there, cheaper straps, possibly a cheaper clip over time, as well as an extremely long and annoying bunch of wires. But with that being said, not a bad headset. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.